Being a solo filmmaker comes with its challenges, but over the years, I've found a few tools that make my life and my creative process way easier. Whether it's adding creative camera movement or simplifying my workflow, these 5 tools have become absolute essentials for me. So let's get right into it. One of the hardest things about filming alone is keeping shots dynamic. We love a locked off frame, and I'll talk about that more in a minute, but adding creative camera movement can make a huge difference in production quality and add a ton of value to your story. And one of my go-to tricks to make a shot dynamic while filming alone is using the small rig magic arm. This little device is a 9-inch articulating rod with a adjustable bearing in the middle and then clamps on either end. And this is a simple but powerful way to get POV style shots or mount my camera in places that I normally wouldn't. The magic arm is especially useful for lighter setups like with my Sony FX3, which is filming this video, or the Alpha 7C2 with a wide angle lens like the 16-25. And there's 2 ways that I'll typically mount the magic arm. The first is that I'll actually remove one of these clamps and screw the 1/4-inch mount point directly into the cage of my FX3. And this is a nice solution if you're looking for a very secure setup and not intending to move the magic arm much throughout your shoot. But the way that I really like to utilize my magic arm is actually with the next tool that I can't live without. And that is my Peak Design travel tripod. And I'll come back to this little combo here in a minute. Obviously, if you're filming yourself, you're going to need a good tripod. Locked off frames are typically going to dominate any video that us solo filmmakers create, so a good set of sticks is a must-have. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with tripods. They're bulky, they take up a lot of physical space, and setting them up can be annoying at best. If there's one tripod that's given me the least amount of headaches, it's this one. And this guy is the Peak Design carbon fiber travel tripod. And this tripod is the best of most worlds. It weighs under 3 pounds, but can hold payloads up to 20 pounds, has a height adjustment that goes underslung and also essentially meets my eye level. But the biggest upside here with this tripod is its integration with other products, like the magic arm. Magic arms can be quite the hassle to set up alone. You kind of need 3 hands most of the time to be able to place your object where you need to in frame, hold that in place, and then tighten off the bearings on the magic arm itself. And this is very challenging to do alone while also not screwing up your composition. So what I like to do is utilize the center column on my tripod plus both clamps on my magic arm. So I'll raise the center column about as high as it goes off the legs and then mount my camera. And then I'll attach my magic arm to the center column on the Peak Design tripod using one of the clamps. And what this does is free up my hands so that I'm able to attach whatever object I want to the other end of the magic arm. And then I can utilize the ball head on the Peak Design tripod for macro adjustments to my composition. This honestly saves me a lot of time and frustration and allows me to use the tripod to hold my rig if I'm needing to make any further adjustments between shots. It's pretty nice. Another product that integrates really well with this tripod is something called the Peak Design Mobile Creator Kit phone mount. Kind of a mouthful. I use this guy a lot with the next tool that I can't live without, and that is my iPhone 16 Pro and my Apple Watch. While my main camera kit revolves around the Sony FX3, sometimes I just grab my iPhone for quick shots or to keep things simple. Filming with a phone is a fun challenge. It strips away the distractions of a big fancy camera and lets me focus purely on composition without overthinking settings or gear. There's something refreshing about the simplicity of iPhone filmmaking. But the biggest reason that I love shooting with my iPhone is the Apple Watch. All right. Hear me out. I film myself hiking a lot, which means constantly walking back and forth between the tripod, setting up shots, and hoping that I land in the right place in my composition. And when I'm trying to nail a wide cinematic shot, it's easy to misjudge my framing and miss the shot entirely. And redoing the same walk over and over, it gets really exhausting. And that is where the Apple Watch changes everything. Using the camera remote app, which comes pre-installed on the watch, I can see my framing in real time, start and stop recording, adjust focus, and make sure that I'm standing in the perfect spot, all from my wrist. That means no more extra steps, no more frustration. It's like having a tiny little wireless director's monitor strapped right to my wrist. And surprisingly, this works up to 15 meters away, depending on any nearby interference. And what's crazy is I didn't even know this feature existed when I bought the watch. It was just a bonus discovery that completely changed the way that I film solo. And now it's a tool that I rely on all the time. But what if you wanted this same wireless control for your main camera? And that is where the DJI Raven Eye comes in. And this is the fourth tool that I absolutely can't live without. I've talked about the DJI Raven Eye at length in another video, which is linked below, but this thing has become an absolute essential for filming myself. Originally designed to mount on the Ronin S2 gimbal, the Raven Eye was meant to let you monitor your footage on your phone while doing all the gimbly things. But I had this thought, what if I could use the Raven Eye without the gimbal? And it turns out you can. And it works incredibly well. DJI basically created a mobile mini version of a Teradek, but for only $150. It's a rock-solid wireless transmission system that works on just about any camera with an HDMI output, and there's just no bulky setup required. The Raven Eye is super portable, charges via USB-C, and doesn't need any external power. I mount it to the hot shoe in my camera, plug in the HDMI control cables, and power it up. Then I fire up the DJI Ronin app, connect to the Raven Eye's Wi-Fi, and instantly have a wireless monitoring system with minimal lag. And from there, I can start and stop recording, adjust my ISO, aperture, and shutter speed, and even view focus peaking in a histogram, all while standing over 100 feet away. Honestly, this was mind-blowing compared to the nearly unusable native camera apps like Canon's camera control app. It's also wild to me that DJI hasn't fully leaned into this use case. They released the DJI SDR transmission system, which costs nearly 4 times as much, is bulkier, and requires external power. And I get that the SDR system is geared towards larger productions, but for solo creators like you and me, the Raven Eye just makes way more sense. The Raven Eye is an absolute must-have in my kit. I never leave home without it, and if you shoot solo, you'll wonder how you ever filmed without one. So check out my full breakdown of the Raven Eye in the video link below. This is seriously the best money I've ever spent. One of the biggest challenges in solo filmmaking is finding the balance between keeping my kit light and efficient while still having full control over my image. Every extra piece of gear adds weight, takes up space, and slows me down in the field. And that is why I rely on Polar Pro Helix Maglock filters. What makes these filters a game changer is their maglock system. Unlike traditional screw-on filters, which can be frustrating to thread and remove, especially in cold weather or when time is tight, these filters snap on magnetically in like less than a second. No more fumbling, no more cross-threading, and no more wasted time trying to get the perfect alignment. Off and on. Easy as that. My go-to is the 3-in-1 filter, which combines a variable ND, a mist filter, and a polarizer all in one compact setup. That means I can cut light, soften highlights, and control reflections without carrying 3 separate filters. And having everything in one system not only saves me space in my bag, but it also lets me adapt instantly to changing light conditions without disrupting my creative flow. This setup has saved me countless hours in the field. Instead of juggling multiple filters and slowing down my process, I can stay focused on the shoot, knowing I have everything I need. So if you're looking to simplify your kit while still maintaining top-tier image quality, these filters are a must-have. Filming solo can be a challenge, but with the right tools, it becomes way more manageable and honestly, way more fun. Every tool I mentioned today has saved me time, frustration, and countless failed takes. Whether it's making sure I'm in frame, adding creative camera movement to my shots, or just speeding up my workflow, these 5 tools have completely changed the way that I film alone. But gear is only part of the equation. The most important thing is just getting out there and making something. You don't need the most expensive setup or the latest tech. You just need a way to bring your vision to life. So if you're just starting out, don't overthink it. Work with what you have, experiment, and keep improving. So if this video helped you out, or if you have any tools that you think I should add to my kit, I'd absolutely love to hear from you in the comments. Thanks for watching, y'all. See you in the next one.